Who are you?
My name is Nasim Bayani. I was born in a small town in northwest side of Iran. This city that I was born, it's located in between two river. It's called Zarvine Rud and Simine Rud. That's why the city is called Miondoab. That means between two river. I always liked it to work with different age group, help people no matter what background they have, what culture they have, what part of the countries they are, doesn't matter. So I tried to work in a healthcare and I absolutely loved it. The funniest thing, um, I have an uncle who was the first family member who immigrated to Canada. He was apart from his family for many, many years because he ended up escaping the country. He was living in Red Deer, one of the Canada's small city. He was bored. He said, I was bored, I was depressed, I didn't know what to do. So I got in the car and I started driving around the city. So he said, I saw police officers. He was in a jokey mood or funny mood. He started to drive the vehicle. He moved around a little bit right and left. So police turn on their light and they follow him and they ask him to pull aside. So he says they pulled me aside. There was two officers in the car. They came to the door, to the window, and they knocked on my window. And he says, I put my window down. They say, sir, have you drink today? He says, yes. He says, out of the vehicle. So he comes out of the vehicle. So they tell him, okay, blow this machine. He blows. They look, there's nothing right. And then they ask him to walk with his hands aside on the line, a straight line, back and forward. Finally, the police officer says, okay, there's no sign of any alcohol. He gets angry. He says, but you told me that you drank. He says, yes, I drank. I had a glass of tea, I had a coffee, I had apple juice and this and that. And the police officer said, are you making fun of the law? You making fun of me? He says, I'm not making fun of anybody. English is my second language. You said, have you drank? And I said, yes, I still not lying. I meant alcohol, the police officer said. And then he said, well, you could have speak English properly and tell me, did you have any alcohol? I thought that was hilarious. My childhood. I had a rough childhood. I don't even think I had a childhood like other kids. It was wonderful until age about 7, just about when you realize who you are, you start knowing yourself and going to school. That's when my life completely changed. My favorite was every year we will all families get together and we will rent a bus and we travel. We go for a camp to the north side of Iran, to the beach where the beach is belongs to Black Sea. So we loved it there. That we all would camp, we sing a song, we dance, we played. That was the best part of my time. I think they had a big effect on my life. I didn't have, due to political reason in the country, war, you can say racism, so many things, religious issues, lots of restriction in the country. You didn't have a freedom like anybody else around the world. You couldn't go out. So you would go to store, buy things, and they wouldn't sell it to you because I have different religion, so I wasn't respected in the countries. I wanted to go to school. They would kick me out of the school again just because of my religion. Education was not allowed for me. I wasn't treated in a school like any other kids. When my father was executed because of his religion's belief, when the government started, when the revolution changed, they started to torture my religious group. I'm Baha'i. They started burning their homes while they were sleeping inside, killing them, torturing them any way they could. Majority were killed. Children were kicked out of the school. Their homes were taken, businesses were destroyed, even their pets were killed because they believe their animals were part of our religious group also. Well, I was not adult at that time. I escaped the country illegally and on foot. Together with my mom and my brother, we found some people. They said they're going to help us to escape the country. It was very scary at that time because we had fear of getting captured by Iranian government because we are leaving the country illegally. You had fear of who are these people are trying to help us. Are they the murderers? They are thief? We had no idea. The life in Iran at that time, it was very, very hard. It came to the point we decided we're gonna die or we're gonna make it. So that's a chance we took. Whatever we had, we sold. What money we had, we gave it to these people and we trust them they will take us safely. We escaped the country on the foot. Some of the way we were on the donkey, sometimes we were on the horse. Through the night we escaped, scaring from the Iranian government, oh God, they're gonna capture us and we will definitely get killed or be put in the jail for lifetime. And also we had the fear of escaping to another country. We are illegal in that country, we have no paper, and if we get captured by them, the government of that country will send us back or they keep us in their jail because we were illegal. It was very, very hard. We were in the middle of nowhere. These guys came, all of a sudden they called us and they said, get ready, we have to go, we have to do tonight. We never get a chance to be able to say goodbye to the remaining families in Iran. So we just put our backpack on and we left. On the way when we were going, they said, oh no, it's danger to cross highly around the border. So they took us in the middle of nowhere in the mountain. There was a small cabin. They put us in there and they locked the door behind us. And we were there. It was so hard. We didn't know where we are. It was dark. It was cold. We were upset, crying. We had to go to the bathroom. We couldn't go to the bathroom because the door was locked. So we waited in there 24 hours until finally showed up and somebody opened the door and they got in. I cannot explain to you. I ran out of the door because I couldn't hold myself anymore. I had to go to the bathroom. They said, okay, we are ready, we are going. Then they put me on the donkey. I was so scared. I was pressing on the donkey and donkey keep going through the river. My feet was in the water entire time. I was completely frozen, but I couldn't make a sound because if I complained or did something, they would have leave us there and we couldn't go anywhere. We didn't know where we are. We finally, while we were going quietly, we weren't allowed to cough or anything. We could hear the dogs in the border. They are barking and the guards started to shoot. But it was dark, I couldn't see nothing. I cannot explain the feeling. We were so tired. We could see the light. It seemed close, but it was far away, and they keep telling us, you see that light? As soon as we get to that light, that is the Turkey border and we are free, we can go. We keep going, and we will never get to that light. We left at 5 p.m. in the evening. We got over there around 5:30 a.m. We walked the entire time through the mountain, through the rivers. They took us to a small cabin with Turkish people there. It was a village. And they said, stay in there. The next day they said, okay, we have a car, but we can't take your whole group. They separated me from my mom and my brother, and they took me with another group to the city. So I said goodbye to my mom hoping that I will see her again, praying for it. We didn't know what will come to us. We were so scared. But they treat us okay. The only thing they were wrong, they took whatever we had. We left the country basically with only the set of clothes that we were wearing. After we separated from the village, they bought us ticket and they put us in the bus, and we dressed as their costume, their village costumes. With the bus, we hoped that we will make it to the city that it was like 12 hours apart from there, until we can go to the UN and get a paper that we are free to be in that country. On the road, we had stops always. The guards will come, so we will act like we are sleeping, that they don't ask us any question, because once we open our mouth, we speak, they will know we are not from Turkey because we didn't know the language. And each time that there was bus stop for people to have break to go to bathroom, we will hide in the bathroom until it was time that we could get out. Make sure nobody sees us, nobody talk to us, and or they deport us. So finally we got safe and sound just in the last minute before the UN was about to close, shut down. We got there and we begged them to take us in, and luckily they did. If they didn't at that time, I don't know how my life would have been. Maybe I wouldn't be here today. I lost my home country where I was born. I lose my friends, remaining families. Majority of them were escaped or killed. Where my father was buried, his grave that I can never visit. That's my regret. My mom is in a quiet lady, housewife, cares to pampers the children, loves to take care of them. My dad was a very, very kind man. He loved children. He will play with the children in around my neighborhood. I've never seen any other dads or family member to do it, adults to do it. He loved to help people. He helped so many people to go over addiction. He helped young people that they wanted to get married. They didn't have money or they didn't know what to do. He helped them. He loved animals. He will bring all of a sudden a bird that it's been injured and will pamper it and he make sure they are free. He was a wonderful, wonderful man. My father was executed by Iranian government in 1980s, in the beginning of revolution changed, due to his beliefs. In Iran, if you had different religion, it was not acceptable at that time, especially Baha'is. Baha'i religion is accepted by all countries except Iran. The Iranian government, they do not approve it, and because of that you have no other option, whether you will say that convert to Islamic, or you will be executed or put in jail. So when the revolution changed, the government started to go city to city to all the office and asking, making people to fill up the forms, and in every form, whether in a school, whether in the workplace, anywhere, you had to fill up the form and you have to write religion. And they asked us to write a religion, and we have nothing to shame. And my father wasn't ashamed, and he says it's my belief and I believe by religion. So they told him that convert to Islamic, we will give you a house, we'll give you job. But my father says no, I believe in Baha'i religion and I'm willing to die for it. And that's what happened. We were kids. My father was at work. I was around 7 years old. My younger brother is about 3, and my sister was around um, 11, 10 years old. My father was captured by government and put in jail for 6.5 months. We didn't have any news where my dad is. We were trying. My poor mom was going back and forward to this office, that office to find out where my dad is. Finally, we find out that he is sent to another city of Iran and he's in jail. They wouldn't give us permission to go visit him. So the day that I find out how my dad was killed, that my grandma that day said, okay, I've been away from my home for a long time. I will go back, check on my house, which she lived in different city, and I will come back. So it was early in the morning. We got up, we say, bye grandma, see you soon. And while we were saying bye, we noticed that all the neighbors are looking at us weirdly. Yeah, I told my Mom, do you see that everybody is looking at us weirdly? And all the eyes, like around the neighbor, they all were outside the door and they were looking at us. And my mom thought because maybe my dad was in jail, so everybody's reacting like that. At that time, my sister was not with us. My mom sent my sister to my uncle's house because she was elder than me and she wanted her to keep her busy, that she doesn't get upset that my dad is not around. Then my mom told me and my brother, let's go inside. We went inside, closed the door, and she said, oh, we will listen to the noon news to see what's going on in the city. So we had lunch, we were sitting and we were listening to the news. All of a sudden, the news person in radio says, I have a news. Bunch of people were arrested and executed due to because they were against the government, they were into drugs, they were terrorists, you name anything they could say. Then they start naming the people, Mr. Hussein this, Mr. Ali that, so all the name, and all of a sudden it said Parviz Bayani, which is my dad's name. And we froze. My mother is screamed. My brother that is sleeping on my leg woke up screaming. I didn't know what to do. I screamed myself. I freaked out because of my mom's reaction and ran outside the house. I didn't know that actually our kind neighbors, they knew that we didn't know. They all knew that my dad was executed. That's why they were looking at us to see how we react. They find out that we don't know about it, and nobody could come forward and say that to us. So they waited to see if we can hear the news. They were all behind the door. So as soon as I ran out of the house I opened the door to run to ask for help because I thought something happened to my mom. And then they all came in. My mom was screaming, yelling. My brother was crying. I was crying. Horrible. So we had couple good neighbors, which their husbands, they were close friend of my father. They helped us. They packed the bag and they hidely, without government, without anybody notice, they escaped us out of the city with the vehicle. And because they were worried that they're going to come after remaining family. That means my mom and me and brother and sister. So they helped us to escape the city. At the same time, my uncle and family heard the news too, where my sister was, and they were trying to come to our city. So we sort of missed each other in the road and we had to call, oh, don't go to the city, come back to where my mom's mom lives. So we had to go in there. and it was a very, very hard time. We all gathered to my grandma's, and from there, um, my uncle, my mom's brother, took me and sister, brother, and my mom, and we traveled. We went to Tehran, the capital city, to get my dad's body. My happiest memory when my dad was alive, and that was before age 7. He loved music. He was a great artist. He has a wonderful voice. He used to sing in army radio. Um, and he will entertain. He will find things in the house and make music out of it. And we will sing, we will dance, we play games. Wonderful. It's always good to hear from the people that they went experience things in their life and learn from it. Pay attention that they don't go through that experience. There is so many untold stories in life. There is so many life experiences that has happened and people don't know about it. This is one way of making others to know what's going around the world, hoping that they don't have to deal with these things in their life.
Who are you?
I am Nasim Bayani.